Report to my computer. All right, there we go. All right, guys, let's get into this. All right, let's see what we got. So I'll start with I'll just start with futures. Shoot, why not? Let's go ES. ES, we had a beautiful week. S&P went outside, so that was beautiful. We also triggered the month as well. So let me actually get my charts together first. Put the right time frames on there. All right. So yeah, I'll actually just pull up. Matter of fact, let me change this. I'll pull up the daily. I'll pull up the weekly. I'll just pull up the daily, weekly, monthly, and then quarterly. I'll have to see the hourly right now. But yeah, we went 2-2 reversal on the month. So far on ES, we're still inside the month in bearish for the quarterly time frame. Right now we're out. We had outside previous week. So what I'm looking for is price to take this out to go 3-2 expansion to the downside, going to next week. So we either do two things. We're going to take out this low. We're right here. Unless literally we just shoot up and we just stay inside or take out the high. I highly doubt that we're going to do that. So we're most likely going to take out this low right there. So that's what I'm looking for price to do. Um, since we already took this out on the month, we could potentially come back through that. We're still like in the back half, the beginning half of January, so we could easily come back through that range if we have enough volatility to do that. So also be on the lookout for that. Um, Let me see right now. So yeah, we could potentially go outside, trigger that next today, actually, probably tonight actually, and just go two down. But we could go, obviously, like I said, we could easily come back through that previous range. So we could either get a fail to, or we're gonna take out that low. And then if we stay below this on the daily, if we stay below 58, 45, 25, then we're going down here to then trigger the quarter, which is actually not that far away. Let me see how many points that actually is to the downside. Yeah, that's only 118 points away. So that's really not that far. Um, ES could easily do that in about a week or so. So yeah. Oh, you said election day low, Allison? I saw you in the chat. You dropped that in the chat. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for ES. So yeah, pretty standard. I'm just looking for that to potentially trigger on the quarter if we stay going down, and that will be the magnitude for the monthly time frame. But we have to again stay down. If we come back to this previous range, then we should look for price to come back up to the high. Because like I said, if we have the inside candle right here, we took out the low of this previous broad information right here. So we could easily come back through that previous range and then obviously go and take out that previous high, and then come back through that range. So that's also a possibility. So don't count that out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's what it's looking like for ES. In Q, it's probably gonna be around the same thing. Yeah, it's probably gonna be the same thing. So yeah, inside on the quarter, 2-2 reversal on the monthly time frame. We're currently at 3, setting up to potentially go 3 two expansions to the downside. If we take out that low, come back to the previous range, same thing. We could set up for a 3-2 reversal, or we could set up and potentially go outside if we're really, really strong. But that'll depend on what tech does. So be on the lookout for that. For YM, pretty same thing. A little bit stronger to the downside. Sellers are a little bit stronger right now. We had a 3-2 reversal right there on the monthly time frame. Target right here to trigger the quarter is right there. So that's actually really not that far. That's actually, how many points is that actually? Yeah, that's only 284 points. That could easily be done in one day, actually. So Dow is probably going to take that out. And then eventually we might set up actually for potentially a 1 bar rev strat or a 2 bar rev strat back to the upside because Dow usually doesn't stay, down and stuff like that. So obviously, as you can see right here, we took out this previous high, we were bearish. We had the hammer right here, exploded to the upside. Now we have the shooter come back through the previous range. We could obviously keep going to the upside. So That's what I'm looking for Dow. That's going to be definitely interesting to see what it does for this inside time frame because we're really close to taking that out. Still 3-2 expansion right here. I actually like Dow 3-2 expansion to the downside because the month is already enforced to the downside. So if this goes bullish anyway, then you don't need to be in that position. So if we take that out, that'll actually be good. So look for shorts anytime next week below this, below 42,089, 089 to the downside. As long as we stay below that and we have reconfirming bearish actionable signals, you can just take that thing to the downside to just keep expanding this thing until we start to reclaim. If we start to reclaim, obviously flip long, but yeah, so Dow's looking pretty weak. So yeah, that's it pretty much for futures. I'll probably go to gold and crude oil so I can check that out too. Y'all gotta try trading some of this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all trade gold. We're double inside on gold on the month. So that's definitely interesting. We're inside on the quarter, inside on the previous week. Previous week we did have 3-2 expansion to the upside, so we easily could get that again. Um, but again, we are still stuck inside of that range, so we're looking for price to take out that high potentially to trigger the month to the upside. We're closer to going bullish, so we're looking for that. If we get a 2-2, yeah, month is already open. So if we get a 2-2 continuation this week, then we could see the upside on gold. So that'll be interesting to see as well. I'll look at crude oil because I like me some crude. See what we looking like. Yeah, right now we're inside, double inside on the quarter right now. Really close to taking out that quarter right there to the upside, 2-1-2 reversal to the upside. So be on the lookout for that. We're right there. We might obviously hit exhaustion risk once we break above that. So obviously look for some corrective activity once we do break that. And then after we get some corrective activity, look to see if we either reclaim this, come back in that range, or if we just keep expanding to the upside. So that's it for crude oil. Yeah, that's pretty much it for futures, honestly. So yeah. Uh, just to recap everything, I actually pull up my actually I don't need to do that. But just to recap everything, every ES, NQ, and Dow pretty much all setting up for the same thing. They're going down right now. They easily could come back through and reclaim this range and go back to the upside. They're eventually going to do that. It's just a matter of when, right? So if we get actionable signals back to the upside with continuity to the upside, that means that we're going to the upside. So we need to look for that. Dow is the weakest one right now. So take advantage of that. To the downside, if we do keep melting, Dow will be a better play. If we get setups to the upside, and we start to come back through that previous range, ES and NQ, I would play those instead. So yeah. That's pretty much it for futures, though. It's going to be definitely a good week for sure. Let me also check the VIX as well. And I'm also going to teach about that as well. I'm almost finished with the course and I'm going to upload for you guys. And the thing, I got to add a lot of stuff in there, not going to lie. I got to add a lot of stuff. One of the things I'm also going to talk about is the VIX as well and how to use that with trading. Because I don't talk about that a lot with futures because it's needed, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking about it too. Like a lot of y'all make money in past accounts, stuff like that without it. So it's not like a necessity, but it is something that you should know. So I will be teaching you how to do that. But yeah, right now VIX is higher. So because the VIX is higher, that means that there's going to be more volatility in the market. As you can see, when we were trading ES and stuff like that, we had a lot of aggressive moves to the downside. We punched it to the downside on ES and NQ last week. And if we still, I'll show you like this. If we break above this, like 2-2 continuation on the VIX, what's it called? Starting Monday. Well, starting tomorrow, then we could see a lot of drop. Like, not gonna lie, ES. And then, like I told y'all before, if we see this, then I want y'all to try to play YM because that'll mean that'll be a 3-2 expansion on the VIX weekly time frame, and then it's still inside on the month, inside on the quarter, but the week will still be expanded to the upside. Typically, VIX doesn't necessarily trend up; it more so spikes based on volatility, right? So that's what I want y'all to pay attention to. We had a huge spike the week of December 16th. That Wednesday, who remembers that Wednesday right here. That was a beautiful day where price just freaking melted off the face of the earth right here, all the way to the downside, 241 points on ES, which is crazy. So when that VIX moves, typically when the VIX goes up, then ES, the indices and stuff like that, they typically drop and they go down. And then vice versa. When VIX is down, usually you might see as the index is going to the upside. So also start paying attention to that as well while trading futures. That might actually help you as well. So yeah. Outside of that, let's start getting into stocks. So we'll get into the sectors first. For XLK, for the tech sector, we were two down last week to end it off three. So setting up pretty much for a 3-2 continuation to the downside. 2-2 reversal on the month. Again, this is mimicking pretty much, it's showing the exact same thing that was shown with NQ. So same thing. We're inside on the quarter right now. It's a little ways to go before we go 3-2 reversal to the downside. So we easily could come back through this previous range as well. We got the broad information right here. We went lower low. So if we get a 2-2 reversal back to the upside, that'd be good to know. I would prefer that we open up, take out this previous low a little bit, then come back through that previous range. I would like that. But if it goes inside and up, I'll take that as well because again, it's a 3-1-2 reversal to the upside. We'll take those two. So yeah. Let me see. Healthcare, setting up for a potential 2-2 reversal to the downside. Still kind of stuck inside of this range, so we want to see what that'll do if we can break out of that. But for now, while it's still stuck inside, I don't really want to touch that right now. If we go 2-2 reversal to the downside, target will be here. So then we can look in stocks for that. Okay, 3 on consumer discretionary. Aggressive 2 down on consumer staples. So those are going to the downside, close to hitting magnitude. So most of the consumer staples are probably dropping like crazy right now. Procter and Gamble is dropping 312. It already hit its magnitude to the downside. Costco is just built different, so it was going down, but they built different. They're a great company. So those are 2-2 reversal on the week actually. So I'm actually going to look for some swing opportunities on that based on the monthly and the quarterly time frame. Actually, yeah, because right now we're in the beginning half of the month, and typically Costco does really well, performs well as a company. So this could potentially go outside. It would need to obviously go up crazy. The sector would have to reverse. So if I look at XLP again, the sector would definitely have to flip to the upside again, flip back bullish potentially, because we are melting crazy right now. And we did take out, well, no, we didn't take out that previous low. We took out most of these pivots right here. So we took out all those, but I need to see some type of reversal because to reverse all these sellers from this previous week is going to be very difficult. We're going to have to potentially gap up here and then push to the upside. So that's what I'm going to look for a price to potentially do. But Costco would definitely be good for some swings though, for sure. It's already 2 reverse on the week. So another actionable signal maybe on a daily time frame would set that up nicely. So I'm gonna pay attention to Costco to see if we can do that. Because actually it is coming back to the previous range right there. And I like Costco too. It's a good company. So yeah, we can come back to that previous range, potentially go outside, or just stay a failed 2 down, and then the next month opens up, we shoot back up again. As you can see, if we get a 3, we went 3 to the upside, 2 to reversal to the upside, setting up potentially for a 2 to reverse to the upside as well. 2 to reversal, 2 to reversal. Is that 2 to reversal? No, that was just two continuation, 2-1-2 continuation. Like Costco just does really well. So I like Costco. So we could easily go outside, or we'll just set up for a 2-bar rev strat, which is a 2-2 reversal back to the upside. Let's look back at the other sectors. XLI inside, close to being inside and down. Oh, I like this actually. So we didn't come back to the previous range. We tried to come back to this previous range and go back to the upside, but we took out the previous high and failed. So now we're setting up for a 2-2 reversal A failed 2-2 reversal back down on the weekly time frame. So we take out that low. That'll be the target. And then we have other targets as well that are a little bit farther away on the weekly time frames, but we do have some pivots on the daily time frame. So that actually would be actually good for that. Let's check XLI to see if there's anything that's a good setup. We already went three, so potentially 3-2 continuation, but I like to take people out, so that's okay. We're still inside on the month, closer to going 2-1-2 reversal to the downside on a quarter, and then that has all quarter to go down there. But that's more of a longer swing. Let's check cat outside bar. 2-2 continuations is already enforced to the downside already. 3-2 reverse to the downside already. GE, I like this a little bit better. Um, yeah, I like this a little bit better actually. I don't know if this is an inside candle. That's an inside candle. Yep. Okay, I like this better. So GE, I like this. We took out this previous high right here. I think we expanded. Yep. Took out that previous high, 2-2 reversal, two down inside candle. So we're setting up potentially for a 2-1-2 continuation on the daily time frame and setting up for the 2-2 reversal on the weekly time frame. So that would actually be good. I actually like the setup right here, trigger on the week, and then this will be the target. So instead of getting 1 week out contracts, probably getting 2 weeks out. So maybe 164, 160 puts. If we melt, then that'll be really good. Or you can just get it a little bit out the money. But I don't recommend getting in the money. Get some out the money ones. They'll be cheaper. And just buy time on those, and then they'll be good. Give it about a week to play out, and then get them slightly out the money. It should be able to hit this magnitude. So get like 165 puts, and then you should be good. So I actually add that to my watch list as well over here. Write that down on my notes actually. Actually, matter of fact, I'll just put it in Discord. I'll just put it straight in the Discord. I'll put it straight in the Discord. Uh, Option setups. GE 2-2 reversal week, 2-1-2 day. XLI. XLI 2-2 reversal. Boom. All right. And then I'll just update this as I go. So I like that though. Uber, let's see what Uber's looking like. Uber's looking good too. We can set up for a potential 2-2 reversal right there. Everybody that was buying Friday, if we go to the downside, take that out, trigger this on the week, that would take out everybody else. To trigger the 2-2 continuation to the downside, that would take a little bit of time on the monthly, but I wouldn't take too much time on the weekly. If we go to the downside on the weekly, we could do that. So Uber will be good too. Check out Uber. This probably be one of the cheaper stocks anyway. Get about a week contract out. Well, 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks, and then get maybe $60 puts. $60 puts, that would be the magnitude of this right here. If we go in the money, you'll be up probably a couple 100% on this trade, depending on how fast it goes to the downside. Um, yeah, if we keep going to the downside, that'll be good. Yeah, I'll add Uber as well to that. Uber, I say Uber $60 puts to L22 Rev on the weekly. And then BA is something that I also wanted to look at as well. That is probably setting up for something as well for XLI. Let's check what that is. Mm, two down hammer on the week. Currently inside on the month, really down. It could come back to that previous range and go bullish potentially. It's closer to going back to that previous range and going bullish. So that'll actually be interesting to see how that plays out. I'll keep my eye on BA. I'll keep my eye on it. UPS set them to go potential 312 to the downside or 312 to the upside. Either way is fine. We're still inside of this range, so it needs to break on the weekly at least. Right now, if it breaks to the upside on Monday, that'll be a rev strat. That's an inside candle, two down, two up rev strat on the daily time frame to trigger the weekly 312 continuation to the upside. That won't get it outside of the month, so don't get that much time on these contracts. Maybe get 125, 128 puts. I mean 128 calls, targeting right there. Don't have it out too far. All right, I'm getting outside of XLI. Let's check XLC. Consumer services, 2 to reversal on the month, outside week. 2 down on the daily right now. Okay, cool. So it's already enforced the downside, and it's already inside on the quarter, so I'm not really looking at that. XLE. Setting up for the 2 to reversal on the daily time frame. Setting up for the 2 to reversal on the weekly as well. So I'll pay attention to that. That's trigger on the daily. That'll be the trigger on the weekly. If we go down next week, that'll trigger 2 different time frames to go to the downside and 2 actionable signals. Daily 2 to reversal, weekly 2 to reversal. And then if it keeps going, we have all week to take out everybody that was buying right here. And then that'll be the target. So let me also check XLE to see what that sector is looking like. Daily and weekly. And then let's check that. Okay. Already outside bar on the weekly. Okay, and this is setting up for a 2-2 reversal to the downside, close to going 2-2 continuation on the monthly and close to going to the downside actually. So there's a lot. This thing is really close to going to the downside. So take this to the downside. You don't have to go too far out the money. Maybe 104 puts will be fine. Just get in the money on this position, take profit, and then leave runners. But definitely buy some time on this because if we keep going to the downside and we keep puking, then you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna keep going. So you want to hold that, especially if it's going in force and it stays in force on the monthly and it goes in force and stays in force on the quarterly because they're literally about to take that out right now. Literally about to trigger the quarter, and it's literally about to trigger the weekly to the downside. So I'll add Zom to that list too. Zom, 3-2 daily. L 2-2 weekly. And then 3-2 quarterly. Yeah, so that's looking good for that. This, all right. I guess we could check CVX and then outside of that, that's pretty much it. Just setting up for, let me see. Bullish, really bullish, bullish. I don't think it can flip that. If we go back down bearish, we could flip that to the downside for a 2-2 rest to the downside, but we are strong on the weekly. So if we do flip that, we have to stay down there and that will flip continuity. But I like Zom a little bit better. It's just a little bit weaker. So I'd rather take that. And then I'm gonna look at financials. Two down on the week, 2 down a day, 3 on the week, setting up for 3-2. Already enforced to the downside, inside and down. So financials looking down. I marked this reclaim level out in case we came back through that previous range. We stayed outside of it to the downside on the financials. We didn't come back in yet. So still waiting. But yeah, so we went 3. We were inside this range. We broke outside of that. Now we potentially could go 3-2 to the downside to reconfirm the month going to the downside. So the trigger on the month 2 to reverse to the downside. If we go 3-2, that'll reconfirm that and we'll stay in force to the downside, stay bearish. So let's see what we got. We're already very weak on financials. So let's see if we can get something else on the financials. Let's see what's going on. Berkshire B. Let's see what we got. If it'll load. Oh no, that's basically the same thing. It's setting up for the same thing. I didn't even have to wait for the other one to load. And then I'm gonna check JP Morgan. A couple of these the top ones real quick just to see what those look like. And then after that um I'll be done with the analysis. And if I see anything else, I will also post it in the thing for you guys as well to trade that. I was gonna ask too, how many of y'all are trading? Have any of y'all traded options before at all? Ever? Y'all can put it in the chat on mute. I wanted to know if y'all ever traded it. Of course. Well, yeah, Alex, I know you traded options before, but I don't know. Ashley, Vincent, have y'all traded options? Dang, JP Morgan, hurry up. This thing taking forever to load. Oh yeah, Vincent, you traded options. Okay, cool. Then yeah. So what I'm posting in the thing, this will help you because you'll be able to take some of these. Inside, super inside on the month. Don't like that. And even if we go to reversal on the week, that'll be close, not far taking that out. So actually, I don't like JP Morgan. Visa, to reversal, two down already, two down already. So not really setting up for any actionable signals right now. We are at the bottom of this broad information, so we could come back through that previous range. So I will keep an eye on that for it to come back to that previous range. So if we start coming back to that previous range, Visa might be one of the better ones to do. We could set up for the 2-2 reverse on the day, which then will set up for the hammer week or the potential the failed two down. No, this was already bearish on the week, my bad. When the new week opens up, that'll potentially set up for the 2-2 reversal on the daily, which can eventually set up for the 2-2 reversal on the weekly, and then we can go back to the upside. Same thing, potentially set up for the ground information, but we are really weak on that. Closer to going, hitting this magnitude right there, and we're super bearish and inside right there. That was a beautiful 2-2 reversal last week. Everybody that was bullish right here, once it got down right here, went down, they all had to cover their position. That thing melted on MasterCard. I think, yeah, 2-1-2 reversal on Bank of America. So this is already going to the downside on the daily time frame, and this is setting up the trigger on the weekly time frame. This is a beautiful shooter right here. Actually, this is beautiful. So let's look for this. That's the trigger on the week. This will be the target to trigger this on the month, and then that'll be the target down there. So if we stay like this, if we keep going bearish to the downside on financials, then BAC would actually be a good play to the downside. Probably get not too far out the money puts, maybe $42, $43 puts to the downside. Buy at least 2 to 3 weeks out potentially, just to buy some time in case it plays around a little bit. But if you go in the money, you're gonna be up anyway. So yeah. I saw you in the chat. I started trading futures again this last week. Looking for options this week too. All right, bet. Yeah. Definitely look for some options this week. When you're not trading futures, or if you're yeah, because I recommend y'all swing trade options anyway. So yeah, I'll add BAC to that list, and then that'll be it. XLF, XLF, and then I'll put BAC. BAC is setting up for the 2-2 rev, 2-2 shooter weekly. Setting for the two also 212 monthly. All right, boom. And I make it prettier a little bit later when I add a couple more things too. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at though, for options though. And yeah, if y'all are day trading, if y'all do day trade options before I put the finish like out the course and stuff like that, I'll say this. Don't treat it like futures. Be careful. Uh, because you now have you're not just factoring in price now, you're factoring in speed, you're factoring in direction, and you're factoring in time. So definitely pay attention. Or because it's not the same. It is not the same. Close, but not really. So yeah. Y'all need questions for me? Anything that we covered, anything we went over? Um, if not, then I guess we'll wrap it up. But yeah, that's the analysis though. I'll also post this as well in the Discord. I might post it on my YouTube too. I gotta see. All right, bet. Nope. Yep. Let's get it. But yeah, so that's the setups that we're looking for the sector. I like trading the SPY. Did you cover that? Uh, day trading. Well, yeah, I covered SPY. Well, I covered ES, but SPY basically the same thing. But I'll cover that too. SPY. I can see we're at the bottom of the broad information. Still expanding to the downside. Outside on the week, currently two down on the day. So we're either going to keep expanding this to the downside, to then eventually go target this down there, or we're going to take out that low, reclaim, and then target those highs, and then we'll reclaim the broad information, go into the back to the upside. So actually redraw the broad information too. That's the lowest one. So now we're going to go to the upside. So that's what I'm looking for. Back to the upside. They keep trying it, keep trying, but they're struggling. So yeah. But yeah, if you trade ES, then it's similar to trading SPY. The only thing you have to do is you have to factor in the options contract now instead of just factoring in price. If the day is, I'll say this, if the day is choppier or there's a lot of broad informations, trade futures, don't trade options because those reclaims, they will go, when they go against you on options, they go against you. So take profit heavy. But yeah, I recommend trading futures for those if we have a lot of broad information, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll keep you updated throughout the week though. So yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up in the chat. But yeah, that's it. I'll post the thing for y'all to I'll update the list if I see anything else or I find any other setups. And yeah, let's trade futures this week. Let's make some money. Let's trade options this week. Make some money. And I'm gonna finish up the course this week. It's gonna be fully done, finished, recorded, and then I'm gonna upload it for you guys just to get. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you on the chat. Let's get it. No problem.